welcome to this training on my no convincing sales formula to enroll $5,000 to $30,000 clients. If you are new to my world, drop the letter N so I can say welcome. And if you've been following me for a little while, drop the letter F so I can say thank you to you as well for following me. If you are watching this training and you think it could be valuable for someone else that you know, I would love you to invite them into this community, as I'm here to have a big impact, and the more people I can help, the better. So I'd be eternally grateful as well. As always, the more you interact and the more questions you ask, also the more you will get out of this training. There's only so much that I can actually share in 45 minutes to an hour. So, but I will be going deep. But ask me anything, because I really do want this to be as helpful as it possibly can be for you. Before I go any further, let me also just very quickly introduce myself to those of you who may be new to my world, because I know we have gorgeous new ladies joining this community every single day. I'm Anne Ryan. I'm a business mentor and a money mindset coach, and I help my clients who are coaches and consultants to package and position their incredible value into a high ticket offer so they can earn more and work less, but also have the impact that they truly desire, whilst keeping business really simple. It's something that I have had to do for myself. It's something that I fully embodied, and now it's something that I teach. I help my clients to put systems in place that allows them to earn multiple six figures working less than 4 hours most days, right? And my client results are incredible. I often share them on my personal profile as well as inside of this Facebook group, so check them out. It's amazing. 70 to 80% of my clients actually make their complete return on investment within the first 30 days. In some cases, within a matter of like the first or second week. So it's absolutely crazy, but I am truly blessed that I attract such beautiful women into my world. And for those of you who don't consider yourselves a great salesperson, this will definitely be helpful, because the truth is, I actually don't consider myself a very good salesperson, but I have had incredible sales results over the years, right? And I've been able to achieve that without any convincing that's been required, or any kind of sales tactics that feel really unpleasant. Nothing pushy, So if you do want to explore what working with me looks like, drop a hashtag support below or send me a private message. I will not sell to you. I won't even offer you a sales call unless you want one, and then it's perfectly fine. I love connecting with women in my community, but I don't actually offer one. I'll just provide the information you want, and then you get to decide if it's a full body yes, right? And if it feels like a full body yes, then obviously we can continue on the journey to helping you to make, incredible impact inside of your business as well, because that's exactly what I stand for, right? Because I'm here to create this ripple effect, because I can't have the amount of impact that I truly desire without having it through my clients as well. Now, how I actually enroll clients has evolved over the years. So I've been online for about the last 5 years. I've had an offline business for about 15 years. And across both businesses, how we do sales has really evolved and changed. And it changes as your reputation grows as well, right? What you kind of need to do in the beginning is not as necessary as you have a better reputation, you have a lot more social proof, and it's less necessary, I guess, to get on a sales call. But the principles of what I'm going to be teaching today and sharing today still apply, right? I used to book calls and have long conversations because I love to talk and I love having conversations with gorgeous women. Now I just give all the information in the DMs, and the right people invest, and part of that is also my mindset and my belief system. So today's training is focused on the questions to ask. So if your solution, if your offer is a good fit for your prospects, they will sell themselves, right? So you can really, this is not about you needing to convince anyone. It's about asking the right questions. Now, so I can really help you today, I'd love to know, what is the biggest challenge that you face when it comes to enrolling clients? I will try and incorporate that into this training as well. Also share the most common objections that you hear. Now, I'm not going to specifically cover objections today, because if you ask the right questions, you actually won't have to handle objections, right? And the only reason, I guess, to handle objections would be if it's not a perfect fit, your offer, compared to what it is that your clients want. Now, I'm guessing that you are here because you want to enroll more clients, right? Without needing to convince, because that whole convincing energy is not necessarily, the best, right? Like what I find is if someone needs convincing at the early stages, at the point of making a decision about whether or not to buy, they will need convincing throughout the entire coaching duration, right? So, and the fact is, sales or enrolling clients is really, really important for business, right? Because we can't actually have a business without clients. Just one moment. All right, my puppy is just behind me and doing some crazy things, but it's all good. Where was I? Yes, business. I mean, clients, without clients, we have no business, essentially. And, I've shared this statistic before. The sad reality is 89% of coaches fail, and actually only 11% of coaches make a full-time income through their coaching business. And this is not because 89% of coaches don't have great coaching skills. That is not the case, right? I am yet to meet a coach who doesn't have the skills to coach, right? But they lack the sales and marketing skills. Yeah, and that's what, that's the reason why so many businesses fail. And it's not just in the coaching industry, but just generally across the board as well. And staying truly authentic to your values while enrolling clients is so incredibly important. It's one of the most important things for me, and the fact is that our prospects, our future clients, they feel fear. They feel fear, and we need to help them to feel more comfortable with the decision that they're making. In some cases, it's a big investment, and we need to kind of make sure that they feel really, really comfortable in that decision. And instead of needing to convince anyone, we need to have so much conviction in ourselves, right? In our offers. And that is what sells as well. Now, don't worry, this whole training isn't going to be about conviction and mindset, right? I am going to give you very, very practical strategies and tips and the exact questions to ask as well. But this is a big part of it, right? Because if you don't truly believe in yourself and your own offer, then your ability to sign up clients, to enroll them with or without convincing, with or without a sales call, with or without all these questions that I'm going to share, it's not going to be it's not going to be helpful, right? So your conviction needs to be stronger than all the bullshit that goes on up here that leads us to think that we don't have what it takes, that we're not enough, and worry about, whether people will buy from us or whether people will pay, and the fear of rejection and all those other things, right? Which is all so incredibly egocentric. It's all about me, When we think like that, we're not thinking about the impact. We're not thinking about making a difference. We're not thinking about the client. We're actually thinking about ourselves, and wanting to protect ourselves from pain, from discomfort. Yeah. So your conviction has to overcome everything that goes on up here in the mind, and your energy and the conversation with your prospects has to be about them. It has nothing to do with us. In many cases, it's actually not a lot to do with our offer either. It's about us truly, truly understanding what it is that they want. Yeah. It's not about selling our modalities. It's not about selling, our 12-month programs. It's really about truly understanding what it is that our prospects want, our future clients, what is it that they're looking for, and then figuring out if our solution is a match. Yeah. So, assuming like I said, this is not necessarily exactly how I'm doing sales now, but this is exactly how I did do sales, and this works, right? And focusing on them and being really present and and grounded and really listening and going in with no agenda other than how can I serve you, how can I help you, is something that I would so highly recommend, right? And set aside the need to make a sale, the need for money, the need to be successful in business that we sometimes feel, right? Because if we go into a sales conversation with, oh my gosh, I really need this sale, I really need the money, I don't know how I'm going to keep going in business if I don't make a sale, it is guaranteed that you won't make a sale. Yeah. The key is to remember, gorgeous ladies, that your coaching or your service is the solution to their problem, or at least to establish that if you're not sure when you go into the call, and the only way to establish that is to ask questions, right? And remembering that without your coaching, without your services, they may not, they'll remain in pain, or they'll continue to have the same problem that they have today, or they won't achieve their desires, or whatever it is that they want, right? And they can remain stuck, so if you remove yourself and your ego and how you feel, and really, really think about what it is that our prospects want and need and truly, truly desire, and and focus on that, enrolling clients becomes so much easier. Yeah. And you have to be the leader. You have to lead the conversation and really invite them along, because ultimately you're the expert. Yeah. Because if you're in the mental space and of really truly knowing and believing that you are the vehicle to get your prospects to exactly what it is that they truly desire, then just the questions that you ask, which I'm going to go through shortly, is going to be enough, right? And they will sell themselves. You'll show up, you need to show up to these conversations, whether it's on Zoom or on a phone call or whatever method you're going to use to have these conversations. With no convincing required, because it's going to feel like it's an obvious solution for them. If you have that level of conviction, it will be an obvious solution for them. Yeah. This is like the mindset piece, right? That goes hand in hand with the questions that we ask. Because one without the other will fall flat. The pricing investment, the I can't afford it, it's never I can't afford it. Yeah, it's never really. I mean, in a very small instance, it is genuinely I can't afford it. But more often than not, it's they don't truly believe in themselves, your offer, or you. And if you don't have that conviction, if you don't have that self-belief, then, what is there for them to hang on to, right? What is there for them to believe in if you don't believe it in yourself? If you don't see the value in yourself, if you don't believe in the pricing yourself, if you don't believe in your offer yourself, if you don't believe in your skills, your ability to get your clients incredible results, then, if you're a woman of integrity, you won't be able to sell, right? So the questions that I'm going to share with you, the strategy that I'm going to provide, won't work if you don't believe in yourself. And it really starts with that. Yeah, that's that conviction, that belief. And we've got to be, sold. We have got to be sold on ourselves. We have got to be sold on our offer. We have got to be sold on our skills, right? In order to sell our prospects or our future clients. So my question is, do you have that level of conviction? Do you absolutely love your offer? Do you have any doubt about your skills, about your ability to deliver? And it's okay if you do, right? But that is the work that you've also got to do on yourself to shift past that. Because if you truly believe your offer is the vehicle, is the solution to your prospect's problem, then why wouldn't you sell it? Now, of course, our prospects have to show up and do the work, right? Like, don't get me wrong, this is not like some magic trick that we do, that we just have all the answers and our clients sit back and just sort of receive. They have to do the work. They absolutely have to do the work. But we've got to have that conviction. We have to be sold on the offer. We have to believe without a shadow of a doubt that we are the solution. And this is the mindset piece that sits behind the questions that we're going to ask them, right? Which will require no convincing, which will, and they will essentially sell themselves. if you have doubt, it is going to be the thing that will hold back the sales, that will stop the sales. Now, fear is completely okay. We can have fear, right? But doubt is the showstopper. Doubt is what kills all the dreams. Fear is okay. You can walk with fear. You just need a bit of courage. But doubt is really, really hard to overcome unless you do the work on yourself, on your belief system. So I'd love to know, whether you're watching me live or whether you catch this replay, you know, on a scale of 1 to 10, with 1 being, you know, very low conviction and 10 being you are 100% sold on your own offer, how would you rate yourself? Let me know, or privately rate yourself, right? If you don't want to share. This is such a crucial element, because what I am now going to go into the strategy, but without this piece, the strategy won't work. Yeah. This is why, you know, 2 people can be given exactly the same information and they will get very different outcomes. It's not about the consistency, it's not about the strategy alone. It's what happens in here and our own belief system that doesn't help. Now, I'll keep going. I don't even try to sell. Yeah. I really look at this as, I have a solution, and if my solution is an exact match for my client's problem, then I don't need to sell. They will sell themselves. But if I really truly don't believe that I can help a client, then I will not sign them up. I will not sign them up. I will not sign them up because I don't want that responsibility, number 1. And number 2, I will not sign them up even if I try, because the prospect could easily sense it. They could easily sense it. So the next question to ask yourself is, do you think you can actually solve your ideal client, not everyone in the world, right? But your ideal client's problems? Yeah. Because if you truly believe you can, then you will. And if you don't, then you can't. You know, you won't. You won't. And you won't be able to sign up clients with this strategy that I'm going to share, that works. It works really, really well. Yeah. Because nothing will change until your belief system changes, and the inner dialogue that you have with yourself changes, and all the bullshit that happens in here changes, right? And I'm not going to kind of go on about that in this training, but that's a really, really important piece to keep in mind. And I wanted to drop a few seeds for you to pick up on and just kind of go, okay, yeah, I can see that's a bit of an issue that I have. No, I'm not entirely convinced. Yeah. Am I making sense? Let me know if I am making sense. Let me know. I can see, you know, there are a few of you here, so let me know. If you're a woman of integrity, and, you know, I'm guessing that you won't be able to sign up clients you don't believe you can help. It is that simple, right? And if you have that sense of, I'm not sure I can definitely help them, again, you won't be able to sign them up. Conviction. If you are not sold on your offer yourself, you will not be able to sign up clients. I know I'm going on and on about this, but this is so important. So important. Yeah. And I know you think you have a great offer, but if you're also worrying about what ifs, whilst thinking, I have a great offer, but what if, then you're like you're kind of saying, yes, but. How often do you find yourself saying, yes, but? Well, you might as well say no. I know I'm kind of like repeating myself and really pushing this point. This is the strategy that I'm going to teach is the easy part, right? I'll suggest you get a pen and paper and write down the questions that I'm going to share and some of the little extra tips that I'm going to share. That's the easy part. Selling is not hard. Like I say, I don't even sell. It's not hard. The conviction, the belief, you've got to be sold. You've got to be sold on yourself before you can sell anybody else. Yourself, your offer, your pricing, all things. Yeah. Otherwise, you won't be able to sell the clients, and you'll walk away from this training going, oh, well, Anne, I did everything that you said and it didn't work. Now I've shared the mindset shift that has to happen to sign up clients without needing to do any convincing at all, right? I'm going to share the exact questions to ask. Now, would you like to hear the exact questions to ask so your clients or your prospects, your future clients will actually sell themselves? I'm assuming you're ready. If you don't have a pen and paper handy, I would suggest you get one. If not, I would suggest you watch this over and over again, and even watch the beginnings part of this, because I know you're going, yeah, get to the questions, Anne. But seriously, gorgeous lady, if you're avoiding that part and thinking the strategy alone is going to be enough, then I'm sorry to say it's not. All right. I am going to be sharing in this training what most coaches share in their paid programs. This is exactly what I teach my clients to, right? And my clients pay. You're getting this for free. And I'm not afraid to share this because I know that my clients get more, right? Because there's a lot of feedback that happens, role plays that happens, listening to calls that happens, and all of those things. That feedback piece is the piece that is completely underestimated in the coaching and mentoring space, right? And there's a reason that, low ticket offers are low ticket. You don't get feedback. Yeah, you get all the information and you just don't get the feedback. I choose to do this for free, and because I really do want to have the impact, and I'm here to answer absolutely any questions that you have. So you've got to ask the questions, right? And I'll give you the answers. But yeah, I'm not in a position to be able to listen to everybody's sales calls and give that level of feedback, which is what I do with my clients. And so I'm not holding back. But if there's something specific that you want me to go deeper into, just let me know. People don't book a call to speak with you unless they want your service, right? I want to start there. I want you to remember that, right? Now, Wilson's here, our puppy, and I knew the day we went to look at Wilson, we were going to buy a puppy. We weren't going to just look. We don't go looking. You don't go looking unless you're buying. Yeah. Sometimes we might shop around, but they're in the market. They have a gap. They have a need. And if your solution is the right fit, if you believe in your solution and it's the right fit, then, they'll buy. If they don't buy, it is likely one of three things. They don't believe in themselves, they've got so much self-doubt, any solution is, no solution is going to work. But the other thing is that, they don't believe in you because for whatever reason, you're not sold, your conviction is not there, or they don't believe in the offer, right? And I've shared this before. People don't just book calls just to waste your time or their own, right? So they want something. So the key is to ask the right questions so you can actually figure out if what it is they want and what it is you have to offer is in fact going to be the perfect fit. Keep in mind also, in this coaching space, in this coaching consulting kind of space that most of us are in, people have been burnt. Unfortunately, I rarely come across a woman today. I rarely come across with someone who hasn't had a poor experience, because they might have only invested low ticket. Sometimes they've invested high ticket, but they haven't actually got what it is that they want, right? So they're coming to us with that filter as well, right? So that's something to really keep in mind as well, that, they have that extra level of fear because they've already invested and it didn't work. For whatever reason, it didn't work. But regardless of all of that, they're still talking to you. They still booked a call with you, so they are interested, right? So all you have to do is ask them some questions to determine if what they want and what you have is a good fit. And if it is, they will sell themselves if you ask the questions correctly. Sounds simple, right? Why is it then that we don't sell everyone that we speak to? It's because, honestly, I think it's because of our own self-belief or lack thereof, and how much we're talking and how much we're selling compared to actually listening and actually asking questions. So I'd love you to reflect on your own situation and your own conversations that you have, the last few conversations that you've had with prospects. Who did most of the talking? And how much were you really listening? And how much were you actually selling? Because like I've said, there's no need to sell. We just need to ask the questions. I'd love you to reflect on that, right? And really think about that. All right, so let's get into the first question that I ask, or I used to ask. First question is to find out what's going on now, right? So first question, again, this is going to change depending on what it is that you're coaching and offering, what your offer is. But, for me, it would be, as a business coach, it would be, tell me a little bit about what's going on in your business right now. Yeah. And the key here, once you've asked this question, is not to just accept the first answer that they give, because everyone will just give a fluffy first answer that doesn't really tell us a whole lot, right? This is really, the key is the questions that we ask. Yeah. So I may say something like, okay, tell me a little bit more about that. So how long has that been going on for? And I want to know exactly what is going on. Yeah. I dig pretty deep. I just ask quick questions and they do most of the talking. They do most of the talking. The second question that I ask is, what have they tried? What have they tried? I want to know, have they worked with other coaches? I want to know, how many coaches they've worked in, what they've invested in. I want to know what's worked and what hasn't worked as well, right? Because all of this is really important, because I really truly don't want to just sign up and enroll a client to give them something they've already done that didn't work for them. Because then it means there's something much deeper, right? And I want to fully understand exactly what they've tried, what worked, what didn't work. And I I want to get a bit of a vibe also for, are they taking responsibility? Are they in that kind of victimhood and blame, or exactly what's going on, right? And I, again, dig deeper. I don't just accept the first answer that's given to me. Number 3, I'll ask them, what are their goals? What do they actually want? Now, I tend to work with clients for about 12 months, and so, I'll sort of say, okay, where would you like to be in the next 12 months? What would you like to achieve in the next 12 months? What are your goals? What do you want? Yeah. And again, I want real specifics, and I also want to understand why they want these things and how long they've been wanting these things for. If they're quite new to business, then it's fine. But if they've been sort of in business for 6 years, 4 years, 8 years, and nothing's changed, I want to try and understand what is actually going on, right? Because sometimes people have trauma. Like, I'm only talking from a business coaching perspective, right? And I'm not a specialist in trauma. Yeah, so I really want to help. And so I might say, maybe you need to do some healing work first before you work on your business, because it sounds to me like you've actually got all the strategies, but there's something else going on. Now, I do a lot of mindset work and we do a lot of some subconscious reprogramming and all of that as well, right? So it depends, right? But I'm not just going to kind of sell. This is where our conviction comes in as well, right? By asking these questions, we get more and more convinced whether or not we can help this person. I do not sell to someone I can't help. So I dig deep, yeah, and I want to know, what are their goals? How long have they had these goals? And, why they want them, right? And what's their level of commitment to it as well, right? That's kind of usually number 4. I'll sort of say to them, so how committed are you? Because, it's been now 4 years or 6 years. How committed are you? Seriously, is this what you really, really want? Or is this what you think you want? And, I'll ask them to rate themselves out of a 10. And if I get an answer below an 8, I very politely end the conversation at that point, right? Very politely. I will kind of say, I've got a Facebook group full of incredible resources. Once they're really truly committed to their goal, to their desires, to their dreams, then I'd love to have another conversation with them. Because business is tricky enough, right? And if your level of commitment is not 100% there, then, or 90% there even, then I'm not a magician. and I know that they're not a good fit. They're not a good fit for me. Next, I might ask them how they'd feel if they actually achieved their goals. The reason I ask this question is I really want to tap into their emotions of their why and what it would really mean to them, because it needs to be more than about the money. I'm looking at it from a business coach's perspective. Yeah. If someone's just doing something for the money, there are easier ways. But if there's a deeper reason for it, then, I want them to tell me that. Yeah. I really want them to feel the emotions, and I want to future pace them and tell me how it would feel if they were to actually achieve everything that they desired. A lot of us, especially women, make decisions from from our emotions. It's about how we feel, right? That matters. And so it's really, this is a useful exercise to kind of get them to really tap into those emotions of what it would feel like if they were to actually achieve all their goals and sort of move forward from that, and really kind of tap into that to see how important it is as well. Number 6 is I ask them what happens if nothing changes. Yeah. And I don't spend too much time on this question. A lot of people might do because it's about delving into the pain. Again, I don't like that kind of selling. That's a really pushy, scare tactic way of selling, right? And it goes against everything that I believe in. But I just touch on it really quickly because, I think it's an important kind of thing to just touch on for them to actually really consider, okay, I really don't want nothing to change. That's all I want them to kind of acknowledge. Some people might say it has to change. So they're starting to convince themselves at that point. If someone says, oh, nothing will change. If nothing changes, I'll be fine. Then, at this point again, if they're indifferent, they won't buy. They're not committed. If they're indifferent, they don't care enough. I am not going to try and convince them because they're the clients who will need so much more hand holding, and I'll have to drag them through the process, and that is not who I want to work with, right? I want to work with people who are passionate, who are driven, who are ambitious, who, are willing to do whatever it takes. Now, I've got all the simple strategies, but still, they have to have that yearning, deep desire, right? And so that's what I'm looking for there. By now, I've kind of got enough, right, to really, really figure out if I can help them. I've asked them where they are. I've asked them where they want to be. I've asked them what they've tried, what worked, what didn't work. I've asked them about their level of commitment. I've asked them how it would feel if they were to achieve everything. And, and I've also asked them, well, how would it feel if nothing changes, right? And so if they've given me all the kind of signs to say, yeah, I'm interviewing the client as much as they have the opportunity to ask me questions too, right? They're on that call because they've seen something, they've heard something that has got them to believe that it's worth having a conversation with me, right? So that's a really important reframe as well. This is not about us doing them a favor. Well, actually it is. It's about us doing them a favor as much as them signing up to work with me, or work with us as coaches and consultants. So by now I've got enough information, and I will tell them whether or not I really truly believe that I can help them. And this is probably the point when I do most of the talking, and still it is like I condense everything. I don't tell them the ins and outs and the ups and the downs and every last thing that's included in my program, because I don't want to overwhelm them. I don't want to confuse them. A confused mind doesn't buy. I just want to address the most important points and present my offer in the simplest possible way, and then ask them if they think the solution is right for them. Really, again, I don't know, I'm guessing like this part may be where I speak for 3 to 5 minutes, 5 minutes maybe. And I want them to say, I'll sort of say, okay, so in my program, I help you with XYZ. Would that be helpful? Is that what you're looking for? And they will tell you, right? If it's not helpful, then obviously we haven't done good listening before to actually put forward a solution that's going to be helpful for them, or they're just not a good fit. They're going to be if we've done the first part of the call correctly, by now they're going to go, that's exactly what I need. And they will sell themselves. Then I ask, is there anything missing? Right, so now I've probably highlighted 3 core things that I focus on in the 12 months. I'm not talking about 15 different things, right? I talk about the 3 core things and I will ask them, is that helpful? How is that helpful? Do you have that now? Yeah, and they convince themselves, they sell themselves. And so then the ninth question I ask is there anything missing? And now this is a great opportunity for them to kind of ask you questions. They might say, what about one-to-one? Or how many of these calls are there? Or what time are the calls? Or, that kind of thing, right? I don't go into all that level of detail. I just don't want to overwhelm them with all of that. I just want to answer the question in this last section here when they, whatever they want to know, they get to ask. And often this is the point when they kind of go, how much? What is the investment? Because, we've built so much rapport, they feel so heard, they've been given such a good solution based on everything that they've previously shared. It's like super customized, right? The solution based on all the answers that they've previously provided. All they really want to know, they might say things like, oh, you're in Australia, what time are your calls? Or they might say things like, what if I need extra help or whatever? Yeah. And that's fine. So you get to answer those questions. And they'll often kind of say, what is the investment? Yeah. And so at which point I kind of tend to say, yep, I'm getting to that now. But is this exactly the right solution for you? And they will likely say yes, or this is when they will say, well, I'm a bit unsure about this or unsure about that. And so again, it's, I don't even look at these as handling objections, but this is kind of like, I am making sure before I get to the price that this is an absolute no-brainer and this is going to work for them. More often than not, they'll sort of say, yeah, it sounds perfect. It's exactly what I'm looking for. And I might say, why? And they sell themselves again. I can't emphasize enough, if you ask the right questions and you do it in the right order and with the tonality and so on, I mean, those sorts of things are kind of important as well. Your prospects will sell themselves. You don't have to sell. And so then the final thing that I do is I, obviously share the investment. And I just stay quiet. I don't say another word. And that's the poise and the position that we need to take when we're having conversations with our prospects. We lead the conversation. We ask the questions. We're interviewing them first to make sure that they're a good fit. There's no agenda about selling. It's finding the match first, and then they sell themselves. So let me ask you, are you approaching your conversations with genuine curiosity and wanting to learn about them? Or are you approaching your conversations wanting to present your offer? Food for thought, right? Food for thought. It's something for you to really, really consider, because if you can just flip it and go in there with that kind of open heart, open mind, open to listen, most importantly, making sure that they are actually a good fit for you first, then, it's incredible. It's incredible how the conversation goes. Does anyone have any questions? If you have any questions about anything that I've shared, let me know. If you want me to go deeper on anything, let me know. I will come back. I'm really mindful of time because we're getting close to the hour mark. What I've shared about asking the right questions so prospects sell themselves is exactly what I teach my clients too, right? And it is exactly what resulted in like the incredible results that I've been sharing, that my clients get so quickly after they join my program. $22,000 after 1 week. $30,000 months, $50,000 months, back-to-back $50,000 months, $100,000 months, right? And And this is it. This is what they're doing. There's no convincing. It works. Now, there are so many different ways to ask questions, and sometimes we get that wrong. And I can't go into that level of detail, and it's more about the feedback that I give though on that point, because the tonality makes a big difference. And like I shared at the very beginning of this training, our mindset with which we go in plays a huge part. But these questions work. They absolutely work. They work for me and they work for my clients, and I really hope that they work for you. I am going to leave it at that, gorgeous ladies. If you have any questions, whether you're catching the replay or watching me live, drop them in the comments. Tag me if you drop questions later, so I get notified and I will come back and answer them. If you want to explore what working with me looks like, drop a hashtag support below or send me a private message. I'd be happy to have a conversation. If you've been on the fence for a long time, you know who you are, who's been on the fence for a long time. Get off the fence. So much time is wasted. So much time is wasted second guessing. Ask me anything. And if we're a good fit, we're a good fit, right? And if not, it's okay, because I'm not for everyone and everyone's not for me. I'm going to leave it at that. Thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to catching you on the internet. All right, bye.